come back from finishing? At least somebody did. Magazine Dreams. And just to let you know, there might be a few spoilers because I just will talk about random shit that happens in the movie. But anyway, yeah, I didn't find the movie as like deep or as bad as other people were portraying it out to be. Because I thought some like really, really bad shit happened, but I don't actually think that much happened. So let me just get a brief summary overview and then I'll get to my full-on thoughts after the fact. And the only real way to do this is just a brief over summary, because in terms of actual story and like a pathway, nothing really happens in the film. He kind of just does certain things at a certain point. There's not actually a pathway of like growth or anything. So the film follows Killian Maddox, played by Jonathan Majors, and the dude is absolutely jacked because that's his job. He wants to be a bodybuilder, and he wants to be a professional bodybuilder because he's only an amateur, to be honest, throughout the entire film. And I can't lie, I can't remember exactly what the time is inside of the film, but it's later. And they refer to 2015, so I think I'm going to say it's a little bit later than that. It might even be like 2018, maybe even in the 2020s. But in this made-up world, Mike O'Hearn is a previous Mr. Olympia, and he wins the Arnold Classic multiple times. And Jonathan Majors' character, Killian, looks up to him very, very much. He's basically a godlike figure to Killian. And throughout the film, we see Killian basically just piss up the wall absolutely everything he does. I mean, what the movie is trying to portray is that he's a complete social outcast and is basically an incel. Basically, all he does is hyperfixate on this massive goal of becoming a really big bodybuilder, and getting on the magazines is the main thing that he wants. Because his whole morality is that that's how he's going to cement himself in history. That's how people will not forget who he is. Because at the moment, no one knows who the hell he is. And he's just socially so awkward and shy and just can't interact with anyone. And basically all that happens is you just see him get progressively more and more annoyed and more angry at things just because of the way his life's turning out. Like, he just breaks into a store and stuff and breaks the store of a dude he said he was gonna liquefy his brains and drink it. And Jonathan Majors' character keeps referring back to Mike O'Hearn's character, Brad, who he looks up to, because he keeps calling him or writing letters to the actual person in the film of Mike O'Hearn, because he's just such a big fan of him and is obsessive over him. And he just literally uses him as like a diary. He writes to him or rings him not expecting anything back, and he just keeps writing about his day and what he's done through, and hi Brad, I want to do this, I'd really like to meet you, like very quite obsessed with this man. But then he gets to a very violent point where Jonathan Majors has decided, oh fuck it, I'm going to start shooting people. I've had enough of all this shit in the world treating me like shit, let me just get a gun. I can't remember if I'm remembering this right, but I think he gets the gun before he gets the call from Mike O'Hearn's character. But either way, at one point or another, Mike O'Hearn and Jonathan Majors' character sleep together. And I don't think it was outright abuse, because it very much seemed like it was consensual, but very much on the edge, or definitely over the edge, of coercion. Because you literally see Jonathan Majors' character wake up from the bed, and then you see Mike O'Hearn get up next to him, and then walk off and talk to his wife. And the movie basically ends with a metaphorical reflection over what would happen if Jonathan Majors were to kill Mike O'Hearn on stage, because he literally goes to one of these venues where he's in competition, planning to kill him, but he decides against it after realising that he wouldn't get the fame he wants, or he comes to a certain realisation within himself, which I guess is your interpretation of what he thinks in that moment. And then he ends the film kind of breaking down to his granddad, and then, yeah, kind of just accepting like a different pathway. At least that's what I thought. Because I think this movie's very up to interpretation about how he feels on certain things, or why he does certain things. So yeah, and what did I actually think overall about the movie? I thought it was good. The social awkwardness moments, like with the girl, and God, it's awful. I literally couldn't watch in some of those moments because I hate watching those moments, especially when it's long and drawn out. It's just awful for me as an audience member to watch that and just go, oh. I mean, acting wise, it was goddamn phenomenal. Jonathan Majors' massive comeback, great. And I can't lie, I didn't know this film came out in 2023. I thought it came out like last year or even the start of this year. But goddamn. But yeah, a very, I don't know, thought-provoking film, kind of, I guess. Because kind of all, what I thought about it was I really saw the moral the moral dilemmas in Killian the entire time, because he's not really a good dude, really. He's kind of quite lazy. He's so hyper dedicated that he doesn't do a lot. Like, there's the scenes where he's obviously watching porn and he's just watching it. He's not even doing anything. It's just satisfying something in his brain, and that's all it's there for. And it's not really doing anything. And he just doesn't do anything. Like, bro, he literally doesn't have a life. And he's not that genetically gifted to be a top-level bodybuilder either. I mean, don't get me wrong, Jonathan Majors is absolutely jacked for this film. And goddamn does he have deltoids. But the level of obsession was just absolutely mental. Like, all I was thinking when I was watching it is, this man is such just a dysfunctional human. And I think that's no fault of his own, obviously, because of what happened when he was a kid and his dad killing his mum and then killing himself, which obviously left him traumatized and not being able to, like, open himself up, which you see through the therapies. He's, like, very closed off, and the only person he ever speaks to or only opens up to at the end of the film is his granddad. But yeah, this is kind of a really weird one for me to try and, like, rate, because, I don't know, acting-wise I think it's incredible. Story-wise, not a lot happened, but metaphorically and kind of emotionally a lot did happen, which is what the story is. It's just a massive, I don't know, metaphor for obsession, I guess. And also, I don't know, there's a lot of ways you can go about how you think about this film. And I also really like that. I like the fact that it's really up to your interpretation of how you take it, because I don't think there's definitely one path where you can say, oh, it's definitely just about obsession, or it's definitely just about the consequence of actions, or childhood trauma leading to, like, dysfunctional life. I think you can take it any of which way you want to go with how this man came to be how he did and how the things went in the order that they did. And on that note, I'm going to rate this film I'm going to rate it a 7.5 out of 10. And I'm going to do that because acting-wise, again, phenomenal. The acting was really, really good. The twists, some of the twists and stuff, are just the things that happened, mental crazy. The actual filming, cinematography, camera-wise, great. Really, really good. I actually really noticed that, and some of the lighting and stuff was incredible in this film. So that was really, really good. But it is that just, like, story-wise, and just it's very much an emotional journey over a physical, like, development story. Because he kind of backtracks on himself a lot, and you just end up learning more about him as the film kind of goes on. And yeah, I don't really know what else to expand upon or say, because 7.5 just feels, I don't know, it just feels correct for me as I was watching this film. I was like, yeah, 7.5, it makes sense. So yeah, let me know what you thought of this film. If you have watched this film, what was your interpretation of the story? What way was it going? What did you think about Killian as a character? What did you think about Mike O'Hearn? And yeah, let me know what you thought. And thank you for watching. Like and subscribe if you did like. Go watch my other videos as well. And yeah, thank you for watching. And bye buttocks.